Hello and welcome to Weekend Update.
Is it really the weekend? We got you. It is Wednesday, but hey, it's as good as any day to talk about in-person events.
But don't we all really want it to be the weekend?
hmm
Anyway, I'm Amy Collier and I do demand gen marketing at Cvent. But before I joined Cvent 2 years ago, I worked for an events management and marketing company for 7 years. So I used to be a planner like many of you.
That's terrific. My name is Jason Askew, and I spent 12 years as an international event planner and marketer, across the globe, lots of events. And I'm working on Cvent's in-person products as a product marketing manager to improve everything that you've used out there or hope to use. And really exciting. But we're doing something a little different today. As you can see, we're live in our HQ studio, and we have speakers from joining everywhere. We've got Daniel in our control room, Greg running our webinar, keeps us virtual, and with some videos that's coming up. Amy?
Yeah, it's really great to be using Cvent Webinar today to its full capacity. Also want to shout out Dan on AV helping and
Mhm.
Yelise in the back end moderating this webinar. So it's great to blend this all together and have a really in-person feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and feel free to interact with us and any other speakers by posting your comments in the chat or asking questions in Q&A on the right side of the screen. Hopefully you're right. We're not sure. Um, and we'll be taking Q&A at different points throughout the show today. And don't forget to take our survey too.
So when it comes to in-person events, what are some of the things that you've seen out there? And Amy, what do you think? What have you been seeing?
Well, it has really been getting crazy out there
Mhm.
for all of you guys. The staff shortages that really started in the pandemic with people losing jobs have
Mm.
not recovered today
Yeah.
in the post-pandemic world. We've also been seeing marketing budgets get hit really hard.
Yeah. It's awful. Yep. That's really, really hard. But it's not only that. I see that travel has become incredibly just unpredictable, right? There's been delayed flights. We've got an airway system over the world that's packed with planes. There's tarmac delays. Now there's like special food carts, I guess, in planes for tarmac delays, which is crazy. When I traveled, it was nothing like that. I think the most consistent and reliable thing was getting to my event. Now, planners and marketers not only worried about getting to the event, they're worried about their event going well, right? So they're adding this whole other layer, which is so stressful for everybody that's out there. It just seems like now just that unpredictable for everything. And Amy, and I know you have a great story about unpredictable travel and events. Can you share with us?
I do. Well, I don't know how many of you guys have worked in a venue that's either in a remote
Mm.
area or up in the mountains, only one little tiny airport to get you there.
Oh yeah.
But when I was a planner, our biggest conference was in the Vail or Beaver Creek, Colorado area
hmm
with that exact situation, and only one little road that gets you up there that they're frequently closing
Oh yeah.
for avalanche warnings.
It's
And
always during
so
winter too, right?
it's a ski meeting, so you have to be there when the weather is the worst.
Yep.
Obviously, but you plan as best as you can, you get all the speakers prepped, but there's that unpredictability where the speakers try their best, but
hmm
things like weather get in the way and they're not going to be able to make it for their presentation, and you're trying to tell the attendees. So always something to keep you on your toes.
Absolutely. I mean, I've dealt with the same thing in the past getting to some of these places, but I think it's actually been worse for all of you today, with, lack of staffing at some of the venues. Some of the venue dates are booked up really, really quickly. But regardless, we want to try to find some solutions and give you some insight and help from this past year, to just give you some insight and advice, right? So, with that being said, let me introduce our first speaker. He's going to give you an overview of On Arrival and our roadmap. So, please welcome Aditya Thwardis. So, AT, I heard we just broke some records, which I really like you to share with us. And I'd love to hear what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So On Arrival, our in-person event platform for Cvent, actually broke the record for the most event check-ins in 1 month in October. So it's
It's amazing.
really exciting. Got close to 1 million check-ins on the event level. So really exciting.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think this is just the beginning.
That's great.
Awesome.
And you have a lot more to tell us. So I'm going to turn it over to you. You're going to give us some insights on badging, check-in, and better yet, what's coming down the road.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks,
Mhm.
Jason. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here. So one of the things that I want to chat with you first with is just talking about On Arrival in general. So we celebrated the 10th birthday for On Arrival in August. So been exciting times here at Cvent. 10 years of all of you trusting us with running your event. So want to really extend a thank you to all of you for trusting us for running your events. And we know it's stressful, and we love that you trust us with running your events for you. So In addition to that, we're finishing up busy season. We're getting closer to the holidays, which I know we're all excited about. And like we mentioned, we hit the most check-ins in history. So really exciting times here at Cvent. And we're excited to show you what we have in store for the rest of this year, going into next year, to talk about what's coming for your events.
Love it.
Yeah, so just to give you guys an overview in case you're not aware, a quick refresher on Arrival. On Arrival is the go-to app on site for your events. So not just checking in attendees to events and sessions with other steps and data collection like signatures and terms and conditions, photo collection, countless more. But it's also for looking at stats on site too. So not just for in-person events, but virtual events, hybrid events, all of the data about your events can be live in your pocket if you use the On Arrival app. So a lot of different use cases, but it really is the go-to app on site. And teams are really hard at work right now, building more features and functionality, but also in addition to that, making sure we're focused on stability and resilience to make sure that we make all of these events a success. So a lot going on over here, and excited to share with you guys some more that's coming about.
It's great.
So first thing that I wanted to chat with you guys about is custom messaging. So if you were at Connect in Vegas earlier this year, you probably saw this as you were checking in. It was released right before then. And it's been really one of our most highly requested features over the last couple of years, and also the most adopted features. So we're really seeing a lot of clients starting to use this, a lot of customers, and exciting possibilities that are possible with this. So basically, the way that this works is planners can configure messages that attendees can see when they're seeing on site. So you have all types of attendee filters to basically allow attendees when they're checking in to see things like a personal message when a VIP is checking in to make it a little bit more customized, reminder for a happy hour or swag pickup at the event. So really making that customized, adding that personal touch for attendees when they're checking in. So this one's excited about, again, this one's out and ready for use for any of the events that you have going on. Another one that I wanted to mention as we talk about some of the features that are coming out soon is attendee hub notifications directly from On Arrival. So as a lot of you probably know, our attendee hub solution is our solution for attendees when they're going to events to really manage and get a pulse on what's going on at their event. So we're really making a deep connection between our two apps of On Arrival and Attendee Hub to allow planners to send notifications directly from the On Arrival app to attendees using Attendee Hub. So things like last minute room changes, food beverage updates, maybe lost and found, all of those can be sent just directly from a planner's phone in their pocket instead of logging in.
That's great.
Yeah, so that really shows, I think, the power of the platform, how all of the products with Cvent really work seamlessly, and we're really bridging that gap and making those connections. And it also shows, On Arrival, like I mentioned, is the central hub for on-site management on site. So it's in the palm of your hand, and we're really trying to make that possible so that you can do anything that you need to on site directly from the app.
Awesome.
Another feature that I'm really excited about to share with you guys is a solution for walk-in registrants. So walk-in registrants, attendees that may have not registered in advance, probably smaller events that haven't, that allow basically walk-ins to come in and register directly last minute. We're releasing a solution for that that allows planners to basically configure a QR code, which attendees can then scan on site. So that QR code can be placed on kiosks or on posters, on signage, and attendees, once they scan that QR code, will be able to finish all of the registration steps on their own phone. So anything, including session selection, payments, anything that's included in our registration flows, they'll be able to do that on their own phone. And then the cool part about that is that once they're actually done with registration, they can directly print their badge from their own phone. So really relieves crowds around kiosks that may have been registering as walk-ins in the past on specific kiosks, and allowing people to do that on their own phones to relieve crowds. And it also, like I mentioned, allows all of the features of registration to be used instead of the simplified registration flow that kiosks can support.
Terrific.
Yeah, excited about that one. And I have one more quick update to share with you. It's a pretty big update that we're excited about. Like I mentioned, it's been 10 years of On Arrival, and we think that the app is due for a UI upgrade. So the admin facing screens over here in On Arrival are getting a redesign. So it's really designed with efficiency in mind. We've done a lot of user research around this. So It still includes all of the features that you know and love. It's just a little bit more convenient. It gives you the different features that you're looking for in the right places at the right time. So the main thing that you'll notice over here is a tab bar. So at the bottom, you'll see that there's a tab bar now that gives you quick actions or quick access to any of the main functionalities that you might need. So for example, the first tab is the event or session home that has just basic information about your event or session. The next tab is scan that allows you to scan QR codes to check them into the event or the session. And then we have the attendee list, which is the existing attendee list of event or session attendees, and stats as well on your event or session. So it really allows multitasking a lot better, and it allows more functionality at the times that you need it. So we're really looking at event planners and trying to see what you guys need at the times that you need them, whether it's before the event or during the event, or even after the event. So a lot of exciting updates over here, but we do have another feature that was released a short time ago and is also undergoing a lot of enhancements. So I'm going to pass it over to my colleague George, who will show you off our new badge designer and all of the enhancements coming soon.
Thanks, AT. Yep, as AT showed us, on-site events are well and truly back. My name is George Shu. I'm a senior product manager here at Cvent, and one of the key aspects of the on-site attendee experience is... Thanks, AT. Yep, as AT showed us, on-site events are well and truly back. My name is George Shu. I'm a senior product manager here at Cvent, and one of the key aspects of the on-site attendee experience is the humble name badge. It's what they get at the start of the event, what they carry around at the event every day, and what identifies that attendee to you as event organizers and other attendees. One of our larger recent efforts is to make designing that badge more fun and engaging with fewer headaches along the way. We introduced the On-Arrival Badge Designer at this year's Cvent Connect, and it's currently an opt-in for our On-Arrival Premium customers needing on-demand simple badges. We're actively working on adding more and more features, and when we get to feature parity with the existing designer early next year, we'll open up the On-Arrival Badge Designer to all of our On-Arrival Premium customers. Over time, our goal is to make this our only badge designer, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, let me show you how to get a badge up and running in the On-Arrival Badge Designer. So we'll go to Badges under On-Arrival, and we'll create a new badge, and we'll call this, let's say it's a General Attendee Badge. And just like before, you can select registration types that this is assigned to, but let's say I haven't made the decision yet, so I'll just leave it unassigned. We did add some data tags that you can add right up front. So let's put first name, last name, company, and on the badge. And let's say it's a double-sided 4x3-inch paper badge. So here we have the new interface with some new alignment tools that we can move the data tags around just like we could before and center them up. We can align the text as well. But let's say we want to add job title. So we'll add a new text line to it that will have all of the data fields available from your event. But let's add job title. And let's also add a QR code that has the confirmation number in it. So put that on the front of the badge as well. And let's say this event has an agenda and we want to add the agenda to the back of the badge. We'll go to My Agenda. And same options as before, we'll have included in optional sessions. We won't show the code, but we will show the location. And we'll put that on the back of the badge. Just like before, you can kind of define the area that you want the badge or the agenda to show on. And one of the neat features that we've built going forward is that in order to preview the badge, you used to have to jump out of the designer, go to the attendee list, and find the attendee you want to preview the badge for. But we've got that built into the badge designer now. And this pulls in your attendee list, and you can see all of the attendees that have the registration type you assigned to the badge. But since we didn't assign it, it will show you the entire list. And this will show you exactly what prints from on arrival when the attendee checks in. Hope you enjoyed what you saw. Reach out to your CS rep if the features you saw today would be a good fit for your badging needs, and we can opt your account in. Features like images, conditional logic, and custom fonts are in the works, so if you need those, hang tight. And with that, back to you in the studio.
Wow, that is really, really exciting. I'm so excited, George. Thanks for showing us the badge designer. I can already see in the chat, all of you are really excited about that coming out. I'm excited too. It's really about putting the power back in our planners and marketers' hands, letting you see what this is going to look like. So you're not having to fumble through and having to do that in other ways. So really excited there. And of course, on arrival overall, so many developments and improvements incrementally, really listening to feedback from all of our customers and making sure that the product really works for you. And I think it also works around when we talk about accessibility, right? Some of these improvements you see, if we haven't explicitly said it, it has to do with accessibility. So we're really making sure we pave the road and making sure we're worked that way for everyone out there. So, Amy, do you have any examples you want to talk about?
I do. I mean, I'm just amazed seeing this. Back in my event planning days, we had no badge software whatsoever. We used those perforated Avery brand paper and a Word document aligned to print on it. We also took $100 black and white printer to every conference. We shipped it back and forth, that poor thing. And we would print back at the office color logos. But then on site, when we had somebody do an on-site registration or they lost their badge, or how many people come and they say, I really want my nickname on this that they never told you about, we would have to print those on site. So I would set it up in the Word document, print it out. Printers 50% of the time they jam. So that was always fun. But we also would have 3 badges on each paper, and to just print one, you would lose 2 every time, which is also not very sustainable.
No.
So
Things have changed.
Yeah.
They've really made a lot of changes. So I'm really excited to see this. But anyway, enough about me. Let's get to some of your Q&A questions.
Let's see what we got here.
I know. So.
Oh, that's kind of off a little bit. Let's go in here and see if we can.
I think that we have one. How does
customization? Oh, what do we got here?
Yes. How does badge printing from the attendee phone work with printer connections?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you are familiar with On Arrival, last year we actually released a feature called Remote Print, and that ties directly into this. So basically what that allows you to do is connect printers to iPads and use iPads or iPhones as basically a mini print server that then you can send connections or send print jobs to from either this new solution that we're working on from the attendee facing side, or also from the planner facing side. So if you want to print badges directly from the back end of Cvent without having to go into On Arrival, you can use Remote Print to do that too. So it's the new service that we've built called Remote Print that allows you to do this.
That's great.
All right.
You have any other questions? Are there any new customization options for On Arrival?
Yeah, great question over here too. So there are some new customization options in the app. For example, you're now on the kiosk welcome screen, able to customize both the event name and the welcome message over there. And we also have the features that I just talked about, like custom messaging that came out recently this year that allows for that personal touch. But I know our next guests are also going to talk a lot more about customization, so stay tuned for that.
It's great.
Exciting. I think we have one more question. Is there an integration available to connect Salesforce into On Arrival? I plan events that have a mix of prospects, clients, and partners, and it would be helpful to have this info during check-in. What do you think, AT?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. And that's the kind of the advantage of Cvent or On Arrival being part of the Cvent platform, that the integrations that Cvent supports, and I know we have a great Salesforce integration that directly integrates into not just our Cvent event management, but also goes down into On Arrival too. So absolutely, we have Salesforce integrations available. I definitely reach out to your account team for more information.
Yeah, and it's not just Salesforce. I mean, we're not covering integrations as much, but we have integrations with all the most popular, tech stack items, HubSpot, Marketo. So, we try to meet you where your tech stack begins and ends to make sure that we're giving you event data to prove event ROI. That's really the goal here. So we have teams in place to really help you with those. So great question.
I love integration, so I love those questions. Do you suggest any alternative badge options to the badge designer?
Yeah, great question here too. I know we have some more guests again talking about some badge options, so I'm going to hold on to save the suspense and wait for our next guest to take this one.
Awesome.
Looks like we got one more. Oh, we'll take one more, right? So for current clients with On Arrival Premium, is this functionality automatically available or does it need to be added to our account?
Great question too. So I think what we're talking about over here is probably the self-registration. Let me know if that's not correct, but all of the features that we're talking about, they will all be available with OnArrival Premium as they're released. So stay tuned. You'll see release notes in our Cvent community once those are released, but this will be available as they're released for all of your events for OnArrival Premium once they're released.
Thanks, ET. So, we're going to move on to our next session here. So, AT, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
But if you have more questions, feel free to put them in and we'll do our best. We have Elise that's actually in there looking at your questions, making sure that we can see them. So again, thanks, Elise, for making sure we can see those questions, and please keep them coming, okay? But next up, we'd like to talk about another important part of the meetings, which is attendee engagement, right? And the best way to do that is really incorporating a mobile app. And I know most of you understand the importance of mobile in making sure that you engage folks online and in person and tying these things together. So really happy to have Carrie Plowman, who's one of our senior product marketing managers. He's going to join us virtually from Vancouver and take us where we are with mobile apps, not only mobile apps, but how they're connecting our entire event lifecycle. So Carrie, take it away.
Thanks, Jason and Amy. When you think about attendee engagement at in-person events, you're most likely considering an event app as your key piece of technology. And they've come a long ways over the years. They've moved from being a shiny new technology to being a staple part of a successful event. They can also strongly impact your attendees' overall perception of your events. Now, typically when you see an event app, you tend to think of them like event content at your attendees' fingertips. Your schedules are up to date. When changes need to be made, like moving a session to another room, that can be communicated in a flash. Now, in fact, this is the real reason event apps exist. The old book-style event programs that we used to print, they were usually outdated before the event actually even got started. So event apps are incredibly powerful at delivering information to attendees, ensuring that everybody knows what they need to know and how they get there. Now, let's look at how attendees normally experience an event. Most of the events marketing and registration happens on a desktop at the home or office. And I've marked that point right here with a red dot. Notice that there's a wonderful opportunity between the red dot and when the attendees download the event app, where the event planners can create buzz, grow excitement, anticipation for their events. That things like pre-event surveys, gamification, featured speakers, all great ways to grab your attendees' interest and get them participating earlier on. So when your attendees arrive at the event, they're going to be more committed to getting the most out of their event experience. Now, most of this pre-event energizing phase, as I call it, it typically occurs on laptops. And this is why we speak about the attendee journey as not as event app only, but as a multi-device experience. Once the event app is downloaded and the event's begun, the mobile app is unparalleled in its convenience to your attendees. And on that downstream journey, the post-event journey, you'll find most attendees are going to finish up their event experience back on that desktop. They're going to be watching recorded sessions, downloading slides, or taking the event survey, whatever the case might be. So the attendee journey through an event technology stack can be much longer than it once was, and it can provide a seamless experience as your attendees transition back and forth between a desktop browser and a native mobile app. Now, as we put the pandemic behind us and we can take some key learnings as we push forward in an increasingly in-person world. That first learning, attendee engagement technologies, when used correctly, can dramatically improve the attendee experience. In-person events especially can benefit from specialized tech like wayfinding and segmentation, session engagement, all examples of where technology can offer and deliver sustainable and measurable events. And then the second learning, attendees require personalized content to navigate through the mountains of information to arrive at what's pertinent and interesting to them. I'm talking about finding interesting sessions when the agenda is massive, or knowing with whom to network in a sea of attendees. So with these two learnings in mind, you're probably noticing that event apps are evolving beyond their previous information delivery purpose, and they're becoming more experiential in their own right. Advances in mobile security, two-way communication protocols, and new tech like artificial intelligence. It gives us new avenues to provide a personalized experience and get attendees more engaged with speakers and sponsors and each other, and hopefully provide a better overall event experience. At Cvent, we've spent a lot of work developing new areas of our event app, like the community feature, if we can put that up. This ensures that attendees can find their existing network and expand on them if need be. The event app's community feature here leverages all those technologies I just mentioned before. It allows attendees to communicate via one-to-one or group messaging, connect with other attendees based on AI networking suggestions, and join group discussions. I highlight this experiential transformation today using these community features as a visual, but keep in mind that it is present through the entire attendee experience that occurs before, during, and after the event is finished. So to wrap up, the attendee journey through event technology, it's more elaborate than it once was. And this journey is more personalized and more of an engaging experience as attendees transition back and forth between web and mobile app. Thanks, and back to you, Jason and Amy.
Thank you so much, Carrie. It's great to hear from you. I love hearing ways to engage attendees. But speaking of mobile apps, when I was planning events, I didn't even use them. And it would have been so nice to be able to have them to communicate things like those speaker changes. But Jason, I know you've had a lot of trouble with getting people agreeing on mobile apps. What's your story?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was in a large enterprise organization, and I was having to go around to every business unit to try to get them to adopt a single solution for this. And this is way before we're integrating this and having content available everywhere on demand, at all times. So, it's what Carrie said, having a more deeply integrated solution, having that virtual in-person platform and being able to sell content wherever your attendees want to take it in, right? And that part's really, really hard. And I'm so glad that Carrie's representing this. Carrie has a ton of experience in the industry. He came from the Quick Mobile days, so he really understands mobile apps and bringing that to market and understanding what all of your customers need and what you all need as planners and marketers need as well. So excited. We can go to some Q&A. I don't think we have any questions for Carrie because Carrie gave you everything you need to know. So we don't have anything. So, that being said, if you have a question that comes up, even for AT or any of our speakers, feel free to add it in if you come up with it later. It doesn't mean they're gone. We can bring them back in to talk with you and answer those questions. So for right now, we're going to continue on into our next section where we're talking about exhibitor management. So Amy, can you tell me anything about exhibitor management tools? What are they?
Yes. Well, not surprisingly, I did not use exhibitor management tools in my days, but to just explain what they are, they're a way to improve your communication and workflow with exhibitors and sponsors, which this really helps show the ROI. You want your exhibitors and sponsors coming back year after year.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, it's a great description. I use them at times, usually with third parties, like Gartner and Freeman, all those folks planning events where you would do like sort of all of that management there. That being said, we have those tools here. But looking at the market and understanding, what all of you planners are doing, even marketers more so, we don't think you're using the tools as much as you possibly could. And it might be hard with staffing shortages. We understand that. But in the meantime, we want to use this time to really give you some insight as to what those tools can do, and maybe you can use it for your next event. So there's a lot more to take advantage of, right? So next we're going to have Jeremy Solar, who luckily is on vacation today.
Lucky guy.
So he created a video for us to go through some of the exhibitor sponsorships as well as lead capture. So let's check in with Jeremy. Greg, could you roll it?
Appreciate the handoff, team. Hi, my name's Jeremy Solar. I'm a senior solutions consultant at Cvent, and I'll be sharing some exciting exhibitor portal updates while also discussing some lead capture best practices. Our product team has been hard at work to develop enhancements that help create a more smooth, clean exhibitor management experience. Today, we're going to be talking through two of those releases. The first release being custom exhibitor emails. Prior to this release, clients were tied to a short list of pre-made emails that could be sent to exhibitors. This release provides more flexibility to planners to create additional custom emails using the existing email designer technology. Now, in addition to the increased email flexibility, we've also added additional audience groups to better define which segments we're looking to target. The next update is going to be exhibitor portal branding. Clients have been looking for ways to incorporate their brand imagery more prominently throughout the solutions that are being used to manage the event and their stakeholders. This release allows users to add branding to the exhibitor portal login page and exhibitor portal landing page dashboard. This helps reinforce a more modern look and feel while also ensuring exhibitor administrators know that they're working within the appropriate event. Now, I do think it's important to note these are just two of a number of releases that are coming down the pipe. These are out and ready to go. But again, our team is hard at work and they are definitely looking to release additional exhibitor management focused enhancements throughout the rest of this year and in 2024. Now, I want to pivot and switch gears just a bit to start talking about lead capture best practices. Now, when it comes to a solution like lead capture, there are three audiences that we really need to take into account: exhibitor administrators, booth staff, and attendees. Now, when it comes to our exhibitor administrators, we need to be very clear with what they'll be getting by enrolling in a specific package so that they can help translate the value that they're actually receiving. For lead capture specifically, we need to also ensure that we're clearly communicating to exhibitor administrators what they need to do. And we can do this within exhibitor portal invite emails, but more importantly, tasks. As we can see that invite email towards the left, this is a really great way to not only get them to log into the exhibitor portal, but also give some very high level expectations on what responsibilities they will have once they get in. Whereas tasks, like we see in the right-hand side, can hold them accountable and keep them on track with those responsibilities and where they are at in the process of completing those. Hey, I need you to add your team. I need you to disseminate lead capture licenses. I need you to add qualification questions within the lead capture device as well, right? Just a couple examples, but you all can create a number of additional tasks on what you need them to accomplish leading up to the event itself. Now, we've talked about that next group, booth staff members. These are the people that are going to be representing said organizations on site and directly interacting with attendees. Now, there are a couple different ways in which we can clearly communicate to them as well, and that is going to be in some of those emails that we talked about earlier. So that could be a know before you go email. Hey, here's everything that you need to be aware of and you need to bring to maximize your booth staff experience on site. We'll also want to send out an email for lead capture with access codes so that people can not only download the lead capture app very easily, but actually consume the license that they've been assigned. The other really key pivotal point that I think is important to make our booth staff members aware of, and again, we can use exhibitor administrators to champion this, but really seeing the qualification process through. So after I scan somebody's badge and capture them as a lead, it'll be very important for them to continue that process by actually qualifying said lead. The second that we capture someone, great, we have their basic pieces of information, but they're not necessarily a warm lead. But if we qualify them and add additional notes, score them, answer additional questions, they can become a warm or hot lead so that exhibitors, once they export and put it into a Salesforce, can really push them through the sales cycle and again, maximize that investment in exhibiting at your event. The last group that I want to talk about is attendees. Now, our biggest focus with attendees is how we can help foster quality conversations between them and booth staff members on site at the event. And there are a couple different ways in which we can actually do this. One being gamification. So for those of you on the webinar today that might be using the event app, we can use the gamification feature to actually drive traffic to our exhibitors, maybe the expo hall itself, by using actions related back to lead capture. Hey, get scanned by X organization and you'll receive 10 points if we're maybe putting a $50 Uber Eats gift card on the line, or maybe it's just bragging rights. The second piece is going to be preferential registration pricing. Now, this is an exercise and a practice that we actually adopt ourselves, especially for our big user conference, Cvent Connect. Through the registration process, we will give a discount code or reduced cost if our attendees agree to at least meet with 6 to 7 exhibitors on site during trade show floor hours. The last piece, the third item, is going to be the strategic placement of our expo hall or trade show floor. This is also something that we did at Connect this past year by hosting a nice happy hour towards the end of day one and hosting that happy hour within the trade show floor. So you're giving people a reason to come. It's already more of a social experience, so they're open to having conversations. And at that point, they then have the ability to converse and have discussions with a lot of these organizations on site. So just a couple of those best practices. Hope this was helpful. But with that being said, I'll pass things back off to the team to continue on with the content. It was a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Jeremy, even though that was a video. Hey, that's okay, right? But the whole idea here is getting some more insight into some of their exhibitor tools that help out of your event program. And especially I love lead capture, really activating that for your events to help prove ROI, making sure you have some of the questions in there. And better yet, we talk about integrations again, we brought up earlier, getting that tied into your tech stack, which is really, really critical to help prove that. And I know it's hard, it's about getting the right people to the table and making sure all of these tools are working and, in sync with your tech stack. We want to answer a question that came up. We'll pivot back. I know we had a question, David, that was around the exhibitor categories for exhibitor tasks. I don't have an answer for you. I appreciate the question, but we can get back to you on that. But in the meantime, we're going to go over to Carrie for a question that we have here. So Carrie, why don't you go ahead and take that one?
Yeah, sure. I think it's a little bit of a naming clarification, right? So when I referred to an app and I was asked if that is the same as the hub. So essentially, we talk about attendee engagement. Our solution is called Attendee Hub. And Attendee Hub is comprised of a website. So it's perfectly suitable for people at home on their desktops, virtual events, the virtual portion of a hybrid event. But there's also the Attendee Hub event app. And that's the day of in-person event solution. And it's the real difference between the two. They're probably about 95% identical, really, in terms of feature sets. But one is better suited for a desktop, and the other one's better suited for a phone. So it allows hybrid events to happen, but it also allows for that seamless handoff between devices during the attendee journey. So it's really more of a question of what device are they on while they're attending your event. Now, it could lead from before the event and after the event, more on a desktop, but attendees can also pop out back to their hotel room and stream a live session while they're while they're taking a break or having a conference call and doing some work. So basically, it's really just allowing attendees to experience the event no matter where they're at. So the app I was referring to is an important part of the Attendee Hub.
Terrific.
Thank you.
With that being said, we want to make sure we get over to our next speakers. I know we have some more session chat. Mr. Kazor, Brian, I know you. Thank you for joining live. Talking about meeting request forms. We're not going to be covering that today, but I can get back to you. So, Mr. Brian, we worked together in the past. Love it. But we got to get over to our next speakers here. So we want to dive into in-person services because we're really focused on that today. You really want to be the trusted provider to get your team to really get over that 100% line for not only for you, but also for your event, right? So we have Brittany Faustine and Anna White that we'd like to welcome to the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason and Amy. And hello, everyone. My name is Brittany Faustine, and I'm a senior manager of Cvent's Event 360 team.
And my name's Anna White. I'm a lead product specialist within our professional services team.
We're so excited to chat with you today about our offerings and how we can work with you to showcase a best-in-class event for your attendees, your sponsors, your exhibitors, and prospective customers.
We're also going to share some of our tales from the field, highlighting how planners like you are leveraging our solutions.
So let's kick things off with a brief introduction. The Event 360 team is worldwide and oversees what we call our event delivery services, which is any service related to supporting the day of your event, whether it's in person, virtual, or hybrid. We have nearly 200 project managers who service approximately 2,000 events this year thus far, and I'm proud to say that we've maintained a 98% customer satisfaction rating in this ever-changing event landscape. How do we do that? Because we believe in the power of partnership. When we step on site, when your virtual event goes live, we're side by side with the same goal of success in mind. So to achieve this, we dig into the details. For every single client, for every event, we start with a kickoff call. We walk through your requirements and your event goals, make sure that they align with our proposed hardware and software solutions. Once we understand your event needs, we set up touch points and milestones that provide flexibility while ensuring a successful show. It all comes together with us coming with you on site, where a technician is charged with setup, training, hardware and software maintenance, troubleshooting, and breakdown, so you can focus on other aspects of your event. And we don't stop when the event ends. We connect post-show to collect feedback on what you loved and what we can improve on, showcase reports and other insights that provide value to both internal and external stakeholders. Now, I understand that many of you are aware of what we do, and some of you may be customers already. So let's jump into the specifics about how planners are leveraging our products and services today. Anna, do you want to share a little bit more about that?
Sure, I'd love to. I myself have been on site several times this year, and I have to say that I'm so impressed with how customers are leveraging our creative branding and showcasing it. With our offerings, customers are able to design kiosk station branding, the encasement around our iPads, and then they can even further brand the software itself with what we call our kiosk background or check-in welcome screen. Now, when those stations are coupled with built-out registration areas, branded lanyards, and customized badges, the end result is so impactful. Attendees walk up to the registration desk excited for what's ahead because you have just made a visual statement.
That's one of my favorite parts about being on site. But let's talk about the value add, because not every budget allows for customization at that level. I've seen planners use those branding opportunities as sponsorship plugs, so adding logos to the kiosk plates, lanyards, or kiosk artwork. This has the ability to become part of a larger incentive package. Our incentives can include badges that can be customized on the front and back. We could provide room for sponsor logos or Wi-Fi details, QR codes, or abbreviated agendas. With the rise of paperless events, strategic badge customization is a way to provide those need-to-know details.
That's right. I remember when I started on the team, dynamically printing on a 3x4 blank badge was the way to go. But now we have an entire portfolio of badging options that are cutting edge. Here's just a little sneak peek. I highly recommend that you reach out to your account team to snag one of our badge kits, which provides badge samples for you to share with your stakeholders to get everyone on board. We have sustainable, tear-resistant options, custom holders, and fully dynamic badges to assist you in truly maximizing your event goals. Whether you prefer a quick attendee experience with a simple badge, or perhaps a direct thermal badge with custom PVC badge holder, with our ample suite of custom badging, there's really now something for everyone.
Yes, and we are excited to answer any questions that you may have about these options during our Q&A.
Well, before we wrap up our segment, I want to highlight some of the other things I've seen with the return to in-person events. The first no-brainer are hybrid options. I will forever be a fan of attending any event or session in my slippers. In fact, I wish I had my slippers on right now. With hybrid options available, planners can maximize their attendee pool by offering a virtual and an in-person agenda to expand their reach exponentially. It's now an industry mainstay for both large and small organizations. We also all know about session scanning, but did you know that QR code scanners aren't the only option? NFC usage is trending, where attendees can self-check into a session by tapping their badge at the kiosk, marking their participation. We also offer passive attendance tracking with our RFID software, hardware, and services. And lastly, with our integrated Cvent platform, we can track attendance and engagement with features such as gamification, polling, and so much more.
Thanks, Anna. In short, creativity in the planner world is at an all-time high, and we are proud to be a partner in that process. As the industry and event landscape are evolving, so do we. And we can't wait to work with you in providing a truly elevated experience for everyone.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Why don't you guys stay here and
Yeah,
we
stick
can
around.
It's awesome.
get to some Q&A? But I love hearing how much help there is out there for planners. I know all
Mhm.
planners could use extra help. I definitely wish I had. So since I was running the registration and badging desk alone. But yeah, we can take a look here at Q&A.
Well, before we go now, I mean, if you look back at what we have for like software and having that help, a lot of the events that I did, I didn't even have that help. You know, it's amazing to see the amount of support that our customers can get. The only way I can compare it to is having when we did my events, we've had all of our union labor and our staff that would come and set up everything. So it wasn't necessarily conference style, but it was the trade show style. And I'm still friends with some of those folks that were union labor and journeymen, and they were so reliable and helpful. They're an extension of the family, and I think you had said that in there. And it's just invaluable because we can't get anywhere without our vendor. So like establishing and committing to that vendor customer client relationship is absolutely critical. So let's go into our Q&A for both of you. If there's been any questions? Oh, there we go. So have the graphics been updated for Attendee Hub yet?
Oh,
Oh, I don't even think that's for you. That's for Carrie.
Carrie can jump.
And I'm back. The graphics have been updated for Attendee Hub yet, so they are unique to if you're watching a phone or a laptop. Essentially, when we designed Attendee Hub, it's sort of a one solution for each modal, right? So in this particular case, usually when you create a graphic or some piece of content, it's going to show up on both web and on the app. So basically, Attendee Hub doesn't have a unique experience specifically for being mobile versus being in front of a desktop. However, you can handle a different experience or a different content delivered to people based on if they're a virtual attendee or they are a in-person attendee. So you could use things like a registration type, or I believe the audience segmentation shows some different visibilities and things like that based on certain criteria. So if you're looking to have a different experience virtually as you are in person, that would be the way to do it. But otherwise, for simplicity, we've tried to make all the graphics pretty much a one change that permeates throughout the entire platform. Now, one of the exciting things is moods that we put in recently. So you'll be able to have more accessibility friendly graphics. Like there's alt text on each image, and it's H1 and H2 structures are automatically built in. So in those particular cases, that it does affect the look and feel. It does do it globally. However, it's more accessibility friendly, and it's just provides you a lot more customization options when you're trying to change the theming and look and feel of your web-based solution and your event app. So I hope that answers your question. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Carrie. And we actually have another question here. I don't know if it's going to pop up or not, but if we're interested in custom badging, what does a typical timeline look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it really depends on the type of badge that you're looking for. So if you're looking for more of our direct thermal option, our simpler option, we really look to kick off about 6 to 8 weeks prior to the event. And then if you're looking for more customized, complex options, we're looking for a little bit longer so that we can work with you on the branding and the look and feel of your event. So we highly recommend that you reach out to your account team to talk through some of these options to see what is right for your specific event.
Terrific.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks for coming up and helping us out. And with that, just reflecting on this past year, it's been tough, right? It's been really hard trying to get back in the swing of things post-pandemic. And we want to make sure you understand that you are not alone.
Yes, and if you'd like to connect with us or your peers anymore, we have user groups within Cvent community that you can join that are a little specific to the types of events you're doing, to find peers that work on things just like you, to keep this discussion going. And definitely let us know how you felt about our format and everything else of the show today in our survey.
That's terrific. I don't see a whole lot of questions left over. I mean, if I think we're good there in our studio, we can let you go early.
Unless you
And,
have any
listen,
questions,
yeah,
let
as if
us
there's any
know.
more, we can give it a couple of minutes. I don't think we're going to wait for a couple of minutes for you all to
A
type.
couple seconds.
A couple seconds. So I think with that being said, we'll go ahead and close it out. What do you think, Amy?
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for joining today. It's been super fun having this weekend update show with you.
Yeah, right.
And hopefully you'll join us for the next one.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.